Hi, second grade friends. We're back with a second version of the Three Little Pigs. This one's called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. You might have heard it before. What I like about this book is that you might notice something similar about the writing style, because this version was written by the same author as this version. His name is John, and he has a difficult to pronounce last name, so I might be messing it up. I think it's Scieszka. It's Scieszka. Lots of letters I'm not sure how to pronounce, but he wrote both of these. So what's great about this version is that he takes on the perspective of the wolf, right? So the Three Little Pigs that we've shared before really tells the story from the pig's perspective. This tells the story from the wolf's perspective. So we get to find out a different point of view. And my book is a little bit broken, so please forgive me if there's some pages I have to shuffle around a little bit. In fact, no, I'll just go like this. Okay, needs to go to the book hospital. I don't know if you have one of those in your room. I know I do. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think that they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. That's a funny joke. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to my neighbor to ask for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig? Little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, and that's when my nose started to twitch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I puffed. And I sneezed, a great sneeze. Look at how big that sneeze is. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner just lying there on the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. Are you convinced by the wolf's perspective and point of view? I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next door neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob and I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed. I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Who do you believe so far? Now, you know how food will spoil if you just leave it out there in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I ate dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar and my dear old granny's birthday cake, so I went next door, and this guy's house was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pig. Wow, he was kind of mean. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs that I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big, bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. Can you infer that the word framed means that he was blamed, he was implicated, they made him the criminal in the story? There he is in jail. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed the true story of the Three Little Pigs. You will now see an opportunity to click on a page that you saw when you compared and contrasted your frog print stories, and you can do the same for these two versions of the Three Little Pigs. All right, can't wait to see your work.